Hello viewers to this channel. Welcome once again, and hello to all new viewers. This is Joamiga Virtual Learning. This lesson 2 on ratio. Please subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you. In this lesson we're talking about how to divide quantity or amount according to a given ratio. We have a simple example where Joseph and Cecilia are to share a profit of 36 million according to the ratio 3:1. We need to work out how much each receives. So we set up our ratio, Joseph 3 and Cecilia 1. And remember, ratio helps you to compare one thing to another. So that means that Joseph will receive 3 parts of 36 million. Cecilia will receive only 1 part. So let's work out the total part. 3 plus 1 is 4 parts. So 4 parts represent 36 million. So find out 1 part by dividing 36 million by 4 parts. Once we divide the total amount by total parts, we have 9 million, which represents only 1 part. Once we know 1 part, it's easy to work out any other part. So you just need to multiply each of the ratio by the amount we got for 1 part. So 3 times 9 for Joseph and 1 times 9 for Cecilia. So we have 27 million for Joseph and Cecilia is 9 million. So our answer is Joseph receives 27 million pounds and Cecilia receives 9 million pounds. And always your final answer, when you add them up, they should equal to the amount that they shared. So this is sharing between 2 people. Let's look at sharing among 3 people. So ABC are to share 200 according to the ratio 8:5:7. And we need to work out how much each will receive. So the same steps, A, B, and C, and we'll write out the ratio 8:5:7. So A receives 8 parts, B 5 parts, and C 7 parts. Let's work out the total parts. By adding, we get 20 parts. 20 parts represent 200 pounds. So let's work out just 1 part by dividing 200 by 20. So here we have 10 pounds as just 1 part. Now we need to multiply each of the ratios by 1 part, which represents 10 pounds. So 8 times 10 for A, 5 times 10 for B, 7 times 10 for C. And we have the amount, so we can write our final answer as A receives 80 pounds, B 50 pounds, and C 70 pounds. So you realize that the steps is simply the same. You find total parts, you find what 1 part represents, then use the value of 1 part to multiply each of the ratios. Now you need to remember that this is only when you know that the ratio is given and also the total amount for all of them is given. Sometimes you need to be very careful. The amount stated might not necessarily be the amount for all of them, and we'll be treating more of such questions in lesson 3. Now sometimes you get a question and it doesn't seem like you are supposed to share, so you need to be very careful. It's not every question that they will mention share for you to know, oh, this is the sharing one, so I need to go through these steps. You need to understand certain things. The rule is, once in the question you have the ratio given and we have the amount or quantity given, and that amount or quantity represent all the ratio. If you want to work out an aspect of the ratio, then it's also sharing. Look at this question. Andy, the local mason, is making 240 kilograms of concrete mix. He makes concrete by mixing cement, sand, and gravel in the ratio 1:3:4. Work out how much cement and sand and gravel that he needs. So, what you need to remember is this. To work out how much cement, sand, and gravel that he needs, you need to understand the context of the question. If we're making a concrete of 240 kilograms, you need 3 components: cement, sand, and gravel. So you want to see the components for cement, sand, and gravel. How much cement do you need? How much sand do you need? How much gravel do you need? This is like sharing the 240 kilograms among cement, sand, and gravel. So that's why you've got to treat this as sharing, because you want to see the portion that comes from cement, the portion that comes from sand, the portion that comes from gravel. So it's like sharing 240 kilograms for cement, sand, and gravel. So we start the same way. Cement, sand, and gravel. Cement is 1 part, sand is 3 parts, and gravel is 4 parts. Let's find the total parts. 8 parts. Let's work out what 1 part represents. So 240 divided by 8 is 30 kilograms. So 1 part represents 30 kilograms. So as usual, multiply each of the ratio by 30 kilograms. 1 times 30, 3 times 30, 4 times 30. So we know that cement will be 30 kilograms, sand 90 kilograms, and gravel 120 kilograms. So we have our answer like this. And if you add 30, 90, 120, we get 240. So this is also sharing, but the question will not give you the keyword share, but you need to understand it in this context. Now let's look at our last example where we make use of algebra. So here we have A, B, and C share 27 bars of chocolate. We know the total number of bars that they share. A gets 3 times as much as B, who gets twice as much as C. So which means that someone's share depends on the other. So you need to be very careful the order that this is done. We need to work out how much they each get. Okay. Now, if you read the question carefully, you see that A's share depends on B, and B's share depends on C. Because A gets 3 times as much as B, so A's share depends on B, and B also gets twice as much as C. So this is what you need to understand. A shares depends on B, and B shares depends on C. So you realize that you have a clue about A's share, you have a clue about B shares, but you don't have a clue about C. So that means C, we start with C because that's the one we have no knowledge about. So we give a hypothetical number because we don't know, so let's call it X, because you never know. So we say 1x or X. We normally don't write 1 in algebra, but I'm using 1 for you to understand something. So C has 1x or X. If C has 1x, then if B is twice, then that will be 2x. That's the reason why I put the 1, because we double it. Now, if A is getting twice as much, we need to multiply B share by 3. So we have 6x. Okay. Now, we can so add up the ratio in terms of x. That's the reason why I put 1 there. So 1x plus 2x plus 6x, that will give us a total. So which means that we have 9x. 9x. So remember what we normally do when we add the parts, we see that's the total parts, and the total parts represent the total number given to us, and we work out 1 part. So that means that 9x represents 27. 9x represents 27 chocolate. Let's work out what 1x will represent. So if 9x represents 27, we can work out 1x by dividing by 9, because if you divide 9x by 9, you have 1x. So that will be 1x. And do the same to the other side. 27 divided by 9, that will give us 3 bars of chocolate. So which means that 1x represents 3 bars of chocolate. Every x represents 3 bars of chocolate. So we are now going to multiply each of the original numbers, 6, 2, and 1, because they all have x, by 3. 6x means 6 times 3. 2x means 2 times 3. 1x means 1 times 3. So A will have 6 times x, which is 6 times 3, 18 chocolate. B is 2 times x, which is 2 times 3. So 2 times x, 2 times 3 gives us 6 chocolate. Then C is 1 times x, which is 1 times 3, 3 chocolate. And if you add 18, 6, and 3, you still get back to the 27 bars of chocolate. So we can still employ algebra in the ratio of sharing, and it will still work out. You just need to remember, when you are adding, be careful, this is 1x. So if you just write x and you don't understand, this is the same as 1x. So that brings us to the end of our second lesson, ratio by sharing. Our next lesson is going to be on ratio by comparing parts to solve problems. So look forward to our third lesson on ratio. And thank you for watching. Subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you very much.